Hello everyone and welcome to my morning report charts analysis videos on Thursday the 13th of July with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hatton Markets. We've got a sort of dollar corrective move, and that's come on the back of this testimony by Janet Yellen before the House Financial Services Committee yesterday. Her statement suggested that the Fed was increasingly taking a more cautious view on inflation. I mean, previously they've been talking about inflation being transitory, but they then are adding in the fact that if it isn't transitory and it is sort of persistent, this could impact on monetary policy going forward. And then subsequently, we've seen a significant move on markets on the back of that. Here's the markets board initially, but what I would focus on is these Treasury yields, which fell sharply yesterday. Two-year Treasury yield especially falling away quite strongly, and that sort of has impacted on the dollar. That sort of trend lower on the dollar continued, dollar being weaker pretty much across the board yesterday, and that weakness continues today. You've got sterling, which is stronger, the yen, which again is stronger, but these are the two that are really factoring in this strength, Kiwi and Aussie. Now you not only get the sort of testimony by Janet Yellen, but you're also getting the follow through from the the Bank of Canada rate hike that we saw yesterday, which sharply strengthened the loonie. So we're seeing that, but the yen and is a beneficiary as well. But also interesting that we've seen the euro, which has unwound some gains today. But the euro remains pretty positive on the back of that, and sort of buying into weakness, I think, is going to continue on the euro. S&P 500, in terms of equities, we were strong yesterday, big strong breakout. Saw the Dow moving to an all-time intraday high and a closing high on the Dow, but the S&P 500 very strong, but not quite at its closing highs or intraday highs. And we saw strong moves on equities in Eurozone yesterday, and UK just mildly gaining today. Nothing too significant in terms of the upside, but yeah, some positive moves there. Also gold higher as well. I will sort of go through some of these charts in a bit, but certainly we are still seeing some dollar weakness moves today. So what have we got to look forward to today? Well, we've got US data, just minor US data. Sort of focus, I think, will now turn onto inflation, and I think that sort of increases the emphasis now on the US PPI, which is today at 1:30. Scroll down. Oh, before I get to that, we've had Chinese trade data, which sort of has improved. On the trade balance, the surplus increasing, also imports and exports much better than expected. So that has helped to improve risk sentiment today. But the PPI is expected to drop on the core data and the headline data for the US. Now that increases the focus, or the fact that Yellen has mentioned concerns about inflation will increase the focus on inflation data generally. So today's PPI, and also we've got tomorrow the CPI. So these two factors could again impact on the dollar. So looking at my chart of the day, Euro Yen, we had let's look at the daily chart first. We had a sharp reversal on Euro Yen yesterday as the yen strengthened on the back of that Yellen testimony. Big strong bear candle, the first really significant bear candle or bear reversal candle that we've had for several weeks really, and several weeks within this sort of trend channel that we've had. And it's actually now, initially you had sort of support today, but then it sort of dropped back below what had been a bit of a pivot line around that sort of 129 area. That has sort of reopened the downside again, and 128 is a bit of a pivot as well. So 128 also comes in at the low of the trend channel. So this is an interesting time for Euro Yen coming back. We could see a retreat towards 128 or sort of the low 128, but it'll be interesting to see if that sort of finds the support and holds that sort of trend channel breakout, because what we have got now is some sort of slightly corrective momentum indicators, the RSI having dropped below 70. That's a basic sell signal, certainly having been above, well above 70, into the 80s actually. That is a basic sell signal. MACD line's beginning to roll over. Stochastics having crossed lower, although not confirming a sell signal yet. So it'll be interesting to see if this is a corrective move within this uptrend channel, or it turns into something deeper. So that move below 129 this morning, initially in the last sort of hour or so, sort of continues this little selling pressure that we've got. The momentum indicators are certainly corrective, and the MACD lines well below neutral. RSI sort of failing this morning around 50, interestingly, as the resistance sort of starts to build around that sort of 129.60 area, which again you can argue is a bit of a pivot, isn't it? So yeah, we're starting to see possible selling pressure coming through euro yen, and I think a retreat back towards 128 figure is perfectly possible. I'd say that 127.40, which is this reaction over here, that would arguably, I think, be your sort of the confirmation of a breakdown of that trend channel. So I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.